What's going on YouTube is Donnie B all day, or Donnie-san. Listen, man, bringing you another Gil Hibben knife. It's the Gil Hibben Sidewinder, and I know it's not Gil Hibben, it's a Gil Hibben design. And a lot of people get hung up on that. They say, oh, it's not a real Gil Hibben. Oh, don't call it Gil Hibben. Well, guess what? It's a Gil Hibben knife because it's a Gil Hibben design. And here it is. Well, first we're going to talk about this little guy right here. This beautiful brown leather sheath, which is a nice high hang on the belt, and I do like that. And just sweet, really, really nice. Now, let's get into this little guy right here. And it's actually a nice sized little knife. For a small knife, it's nice size. The problem is my hands are so big it makes it look like a toothpick, but it's actually not bad. You're looking at an overall length of 7.5 inches. It says so right in the box. 7.5 inches with a 3.5 7CR17 steel blade. We have brown packawood handles, the brown leather sheath. You have brass bolsters up front with decorative pins that are steel and brass. Then another brass pin here. Then you have brass decorative liners there. So there's a whole lot going into this knife aside from just the overall shape and look of it. If you looked at it quick, you'd never see anything, especially in the hand. You'd never know that you were covering up artwork. And that's what this is when you're talking about knife detailing. It's just artwork. So it's something that looks nice. You know, you're sitting around and somebody needs to open up a box and they say, oh, hey, does anybody have a knife? And you pull this out. The first thing they do is go, wow, that's beautiful. And you go, yeah, but let's see if beautiful works. First of all, I haven't tested this edge yet. Oh, look at that. You know, they tend to send these guys mighty freaking sharp. And I don't know, that shot right there did not do how much justice. That, I picked up everything off that. Woo! That is a smooth spot on the old D-bat arm. It is razor sharp. Razor out of the box sharp. Wow. Wow. Okay, so I didn't expect that. I ran my thumb across it when I first took it out of the box. I was like, oh, it's sharp. I didn't think it was that sharp. Not so bad. What I do like right here is this little ramp, and it's a great little thumb ramp. Holding it in reverse, it doesn't bother the hand. So if you needed it for self-defense, and this is not, like a self-defense made knife, but if you need it for self-defense for a quick one, it works. The choil actually feels really nice. The choil feels very, very nice in the hand. And you can even, with that climb, if you were going to use it for any kind of skinning, you can see that ramp comes up and it really helps with the finger. So instead of having to do this, you can literally just lay your finger across and you have a lot of real estate to put your hand. It is pretty thick. I didn't measure how thick it is, but it's a pretty thick blade. And it is true full tank construction. You gotta like that. And this is gonna be your everyday knife, right? This isn't your camp knife. This isn't your survival knife. This isn't your hunting knife. But if you're out hunting and you're catching deer, rabbit, or whatever, this little guy right here is going to come in pretty handy. It's going to do the job. This is just going to be your everyday utility knife. If you're looking for a Hibben carry, instead of, a Hibben this long and you're saying, oh, I can't carry that around with me. But if you want something just beautiful, that's impressive to look at, that you can carry on your belt to bring wherever you go, except the airport, this little guy right here is pretty damn nice. So look, you can see the Gil Hibben signature logo. All right, you can see it there. Look at that. I have to say that with my hand size, I thought that, having such a small frame, it was going to bother me. But even with big hands, this doesn't feel so bad. This actually feels pretty good. It's comfortable. This is something that, and I'm going to wear it on my belt today. This is something that you can wear in your belt and just take it out for whatever you need it. But how does it do with everyday tasks? How does it handle? Before we actually go outside, let me just actually, you know what? I got something right here. Oh no, I needed to open up a box. All right, well, that was actually pretty smooth. The tip penetration, I didn't even have to like put pressure. You see that? It just sinks right through. The blade edge goes right through. Take this corner of the box where it's nice and hard, and look at that. It's 3 levels of cardboard, and I'm putting no pressure into there. I'm not like jamming. I don't have to do that because it's just so smooth and it's so sharp. And one good thing about the blade material, it's not the best blade material, right? It's just not. What is it, 7CR17? Is that what it is? Yeah, 7CR17. It's a very cheap steel. It's a garden variety steel, but it sharpens really really easily. If you are using it and you find it not razor sharp anymore, it will take nothing to bring that back. In such a short package, 3.5-inch blade, you don't have to worry about snapping the blade doing just your daily tasks. So if you're cutting a rabbit or you're cutting open boxes, you're picking your nails, anything you're doing with it that you would do with a knife this size, you don't have to worry. You're not going to break it. This isn't one of those, oh, no, it's a cheap 7CR17 remake blade and blah, 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 blah. No, it's gonna do all right. It's going to do all right, and we'll find that out right now. Come on. Well, I was just trolleying across the yard, and I come across some of this. So we will see. Cutting ability. The ability, wow, look at that. I could just shave across these. Look at them pop up. Look at them pop up. And this is dangling string. So if you touch it, it folds, right? It's nothing hard. But look at what I'm doing to it. Look at that. It's really, really sharp. Really sharp. I'm shaving down string while holding one end only. Try that. Take your knife, hold some string, and just cut it while you hold it. Look at this. Look at that. While I hold it. So it's falling all over the place. Man. Sharp. Sharp, 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 sharp. So here's the deal. I told you what it is and what it isn't. And it is definitely not a blade you're going to bring out to the old stump and give a work on, right? But if I know it can handle this, what I do with the stump, then you know it can handle your everyday knife tasking, right? So if you're looking for that everyday knife, you're going to want to know if it can handle the paces at the stump, then it's going to be your box opener all day long. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. All right, so a couple of hard downward throws, some 4-foot drops. Nothing loosened, everything's still secure. In the sun, you can really see it begin to pop. All right, this knife looks so much better. I say that and the sun starts to go away a little bit. But it really looks good. The pins are much nicer outside. Everything about the packet. I love the spine, how thick this is. But all around it just starts to look better once you get it out. Now, we're going to, feather sticking, that's a real word. Feather sticking is something that, you would be able to use this for, as far as your camp needs and things like that. And it is feathering quite nicely. I'm just losing them all because I'm pushing too hard. But you can see as they start to gather. You can see what I see. It's gonna work. And of course, you know, you can sharpen a spoon and feather stick, so don't let that be the tell-all. You know, if you're gonna go out and buy knives and you say, well, I seen a video where somebody feather sticked for 30 minutes. No bull. I saw a video where somebody feather sticked for 30 minutes to show the knife off. Somebody feather sticked a knife reviewer who said, I'm a knife reviewer, and if you watch my videos, you'll know if you can buy this knife or not. All they did was feather stick for 30 freaking minutes. All right, so we aren't doing that crap. Here, let's feather stick. So literally pulling, pushing. If you need to get that kind of stuff done, has it been 30 minutes yet? Guys, I'm still doing it. If you need to get that stuff done, obviously, no problem. Let's see if we can't bang off this tip here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it way out here by the swell, the very comfortable swell, with just a finger. That way it gives me a little momentum in the chop. And there we go. There we go. There we go. Let's see. Chopping does anything to this edge? No, it still looks good. Still looks good. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to figure out if we can do a baton chop. So you need to cut through some wood, right? Look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, it's beautiful. I'm going to go the other direction now. Oh, it's beautiful. And what do? We just cut out a nice wedge there, right? But you're saying, oh, wait, but I needed to get through the whole thing. All right, well, let's just keep going then. Let's just keep going then. Got to work this new angle here. All right. So, she batons. She feather sticks. She processes. So, I know that this is not the blade that I'm going to be doing all this with, but I know that if I'm out hiking and the weather takes a turn for the worse, or I fall in a pit that I probably dug and forgot about, and I need to survive, I know that having this knife on me, I'm going to be able to process wood quite easily. Quite easily. I mean, it's doing a fantastic job. And let's see. Let's see here. After batoning and all that jazz, can I still do a push cut? Not a saw cut, but a push cut and cut nylon rope? Absolutely. Why? Because the edge held up. Let's see if we can't grab some of this here. And let's see here. That's good. That's good. So I can debranch, which is nice. And again, holding it by the edge, I mean by the end, makes it pretty simple. All right, so now let's get a little chop here. All right, very nice, very clean cut. Very clean cut. All right, so let's see if we can't just take off the skin. Oh, look at that. Cucumber salad. Once you take off the bark, if it's still green in there, that means your edge is really fine and you're able to get in between the bark and the wood without hitting the wood yet, and that's good. So if I want to hit the wood, no problem, but I can also not. Let's see if we can't get a little notching in there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is gonna be a nice little belt carry. This is a nice little belt carry. So there's a nice little notch, but let's square it off. The old Lincoln log notch. All right. Abso-freaking-lutely. Oh yeah. So everything that I would expect it not to be, it can still do. And that's what you want. You want to, when you're getting your knife, you want a knife that can do all the things that you're never going to need it to. And if you have that knife, if the knife you choose can do everything that you're never going to want it to, need it to, or expect it to, then it's going to do everything you do need it to do, right? So if I'm saying I need this to be able to do tasks that I'm never going to need to use it for, because I'm never going to need to go that hard on this knife, and it's doing it, and you're doing it well, then you know all the simple things you're going to be using the knife for, it's going to be simple. It's just going to be easy. So I'm pretty pleased with this, because I know that I'm not taking any chippings or any folds or anything like that. There's nothing wrong with this edge. You can see it looks beautiful, and we've seen it's still sharp. I know that using this for what its intended purposes are, it's going to be able to handle those purposes very, very easily. So I know that using it for other purposes, it can be useful and it can handle. Then I know that for the stuff I'm actually going to need it for, no problem. No problemo. So, I mean, we're looking at a complete package of good knife here. Woo! Threw that one kind of hard. And, oh yeah, I got it in there good. Wow, that buried. And so you know that it's going to be all right. You got to like that the entire spine, instead of sharpened, it is swedged. Now, somebody asked a question about knife fighting and the need for a double edge. They say, oh, you know, for a fighting knife, you need to have a double edge. This is swedged. It doesn't even need to be swedged. If it was this thick in the spine, all the way to the tip, I could still use it as a fighting knife and still perform back cuts. And people think that in order for a back cut, you have to have a double edge. But if I swing this knife this way, you see that little line it just made on my arm? You see that? If I swing that knife, this tip is going to be what's digging through and what's making that cut, right? So if I could just swing it like that, right, light, and it's sticking in, think about it, if that's skin, back cutting, you can see how far in that is, back cutting with that thing, and obviously this is too short to be a fighting knife, so I'm not getting momentum, but you can still back cut with a spine that's not sharpened. Just putting that out there for somebody who asked. But so far, I'm looking at a knife right here that I think I'm going to enjoy. And yes, it's a cheap Gil Hibben design, right? Who makes them? Master Cutlery or United Cutlery? And it's something that you're going to look at and say, nope, it's 7CR17. It's not going to be able to do anything. It's not going to work. Well, I'll tell you what, I shaved my arm, cut some rope, shaved some stick, cut some stick, baton some stick, process some wood, baton some wood, feather stick some. Tell me, what isn't it doing that everybody says these things can't do? You know, they say, oh, you can't use one of these. They're not useful. Show me how it's not useful, because everything I intended it to do, everything I asked of it, it did. So all those people out there who are absolute knife snobs will tell you that if you buy a Gil Hibben knife, then you're buying a piece of garbage and you're stupid and you know nothing about knives and blah, 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 blah. And then when the guy is sitting around and he has no knife on him and he says, oh man, I need this cut, and you cut it for him with your Gil Hibben knife, remember to use your middle finger to make that cut, right? Because this right here, no matter what, it's still a knife. And besides being a beautiful knife, it's a worker's knife. It works, right? This thing gets the job done. So, the Sidewinder from Gil Hibben, how do it do? This thing's pretty sweet. I like it. So, I'm Donnie B all day. Until next knife.